Captain, before we step onto this seat in Leadership Island, tell me, what does chair make you feel when it means a seat for one person? The person who leads a meeting, and the act of leading or presiding over a group or discussion. Meaning 1. A seat for one person. Used for the piece of furniture one person sits on. Example: she pulled a wooden chair close to the map table. Common use: sit on a chair, wooden chair, empty chair.
Wooden chair here.
Meaning 2. The person who leads a meeting or group. Used for the person responsible for guiding discussion and keeping order. Example: the chair opened the Harbour Council meeting at sunrise. Common use: meeting chair, chair of the board, chair of the committee.
Chair of the council.
Meaning 3. To lead or preside over a meeting, session or group. Used as a verb when someone officially leads a discussion or formal gathering. Example: she was asked to chair the emergency planning session. Common use: chair a meeting, chair the session, chair the panel.
Chair this session.
Chair can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, it often means the physical seat, but in formal settings, it also means the leader of a meeting or committee. As a verb, it means leading or presiding over that meeting. Read the seat, the role, and the action with care, Captain. Carry chair for the single place where one person sits, for the leader who holds order in discussion, and for the act of guiding a group toward clear direction as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this voice and feeling island, tell me, what does cry make you feel when it means to produce tears because of strong emotion, to shout out loudly, and a loud sound or call made by a person or animal? Meaning 1. To produce tears because of strong emotion. Used when someone weeps because of sadness, pain, joy, or another deep feeling. Example: she began to cry quietly after hearing the good news at last. Common use: cry with joy, cry from pain, cry softly.
Cry with joy.
Meaning 2. To shout out loudly. Used when someone calls, warns, or speaks in a strong, loud voice. Example: the lookout cried for help when the rope snapped. Common use: cry for help, cry out, cry someone's name.
Help! Cry for help!
Meaning 3. A loud sound or call made by a person or animal. Used as a noun for the sound itself, especially when it is sharp, emotional, or urgent. Example: the cry of the gull echoed across the empty bay. Common use: a cry in the dark, the cry of a bird. Hear a cry.
Hear the cry.
Cry can be a verb or a noun. As a verb, it may mean weeping with tears or calling out loudly. As a noun, it means the sound itself, a shout, a call, or an emotional voice. Listen to the tear, the shout, and the sound behind the moment, Captain. Carry cry for the deep feeling that becomes tears, for the voice that rises in warning or need, and for the call that travels through air and leaves its echo on the journey as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this ending and judgment island, tell me, what does conclude make you feel when it means to bring something to an end, to decide something after thinking carefully, and to finish by saying or showing a final point? Meaning 1. To bring something to an end. Used when a meeting, journey, speech, or event reaches its finish. Example: they concluded the harbour meeting before the storm arrived. Common use: conclude a meeting, conclude the event, conclude the journey.
Conclude the meeting.
Meaning 2. To decide something after careful thought. Used when someone reaches a judgment or opinion after looking at the facts. Example: from the broken rope and wet deck, she concluded that the crate had slipped in the night. Common use: conclude that. Conclude from the evidence. Carefully conclude.
Conclude from clues.
Meaning 3. To finish by saying or showing a final point. Used when a speech, report, or explanation ends with one last clear message. Example: the speaker concluded with a warning about the winter route. Common use: conclude with. Conclude by saying. Conclude the report.
Conclude with warning.
Conclude is a strong academic and everyday word. It can mean ending something, reaching a judgment, or finishing with a final point. Very often, these meanings are close to one another because people usually conclude a discussion by concluding what they think. Finish with clarity and think with care, Captain. Carry conclude for the ending that closes a moment, for the judgment that rises from the facts, and for the final point that leaves the strongest meaning behind as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this promise and dedication island, tell me, what does commitment make you feel when it means strong dedication to something? A promise or duty that must be honoured, and the state of being fully tied to a choice, goal, or relationship. Meaning 1. Strong dedication to something. Used when someone gives time, energy, and loyalty to a task, purpose, or value. Example: her commitment to daily training made the whole crew respect her. Common use: commitment to success, deep commitment, show commitment.
On commitment. Commitment to training.
Meaning 2. A promise, duty, or responsibility that must be honoured. Used for an obligation or serious promise that a person is expected to keep. Example: he could not leave early because of his commitment to the Harbour Council. Common use: family commitment, work commitment, keeper commitment.
Keep the commitment.
Meaning 3. The state of being fully tied to a choice, goal, or relationship. Used when someone is no longer halfway involved, but truly and fully devoted. Example: their shared commitment to the rescue mission kept them united. Common use: long-term commitment, commitment in a relationship, total commitment.
Total commitment.
Commitment is a powerful noun because it often combines dedication, duty, and lasting choice. Sometimes it highlights effort and loyalty. Sometimes it points to an obligation or promise. Sometimes it describes the deeper state of being fully devoted over time. Hold fast to what deserves your full strength, Captain. Carry commitment for the dedication that returns day after day, for the promise that must be honoured with action, and for the lasting devotion that binds people to a purpose greater than a passing moment as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this care and warning island, tell me, what does caution make you feel when it means careful behaviour to avoid danger, a warning about possible risk, and advice to act slowly and wisely in an uncertain situation? Meaning 1. Careful behaviour used to avoid danger or mistakes. Used when someone acts slowly, wisely, and with attention because something may be risky. Example: she moved with caution across the wet harbour stones. Common use: act with caution, great caution, use caution.
Use caution.
Meaning 2. A warning that danger or risk may be present. Used for spoken or written messages that tell people to be careful. Example: the guard issued a caution about the damaged bridge near the bay. Common use: issue a caution, safety caution, caution sign.
Caution. Bridge damage.
Meaning 3. Advice to act slowly, carefully and wisely before deciding or moving. Used when someone recommends restraint and thoughtful action rather than rushing. Example: the old sailor spoke with caution before approving the winter route. Common use: advise caution, urge caution, voice caution.
Advise caution.
Caution can be a noun and sometimes a verb, but most often it means careful behaviour, a warning, or wise restraint before action. The core idea stays the same in all 3 uses. Danger may be near, so slow thought and careful movement matter. Move with care when the path is uncertain, Captain. Carry caution for the careful behaviour that avoids harm, for the warning that alerts us before danger arrives, and for the wise advice that keeps bold hearts from rushing into the wrong tide as we sail to the next island.